Breaking news. SSI and SSDI recipients across America are now facing the biggest update of the year as federal officials confirm that plans for a $4,000 double payment have moved into the final decision stage, signaling that millions could soon receive two massive deposits back-to-back. A quiet tension has been building across the country as families wait for clarity on whether the latest round of proposed financial relief will materialize in time to ease the pressure of rising bills, medical costs, and everyday essentials. The atmosphere feels heavy in many American households where disability recipients and low-income seniors have stretched every dollar to its limit, hoping that the promise of additional federal support will turn into something real. That is where the new wave of discussions around the $4,000 double stimulus checks has sparked a mixture of hope, disbelief, and cautious optimism. People who rely on SSI and SSDI have watched many proposals appear and disappear, but this time the details have arrived with a sharper edge, a clearer message, and a level of urgency that has captured national attention. For many disabled Americans, the financial reality is far from comfortable. Payments often vanish into rent, utilities, medications, and transportation long before the month ends. When the idea of double checks totaling $4,000 began circulating, it wasn't viewed as a luxury or a bonus. It was seen as a possible lifeline. The story behind it comes from a push within Congress to fast-track additional relief specifically for individuals who have been left out of previous economic boosts or who received significantly less support compared to other groups. As lawmakers comb through credit shortages, inflation instability, and the widening gap between income and expenses, a targeted benefit aimed at SSI and SSDI recipients has resurfaced with more political backing than in earlier attempts. The proposed double payment has emerged as a direct response to the argument that disabled Americans face higher essential living costs and fewer financial buffers. The energy around these proposals is fueled by testimony from advocates who emphasize the hidden burdens that disability recipients shoulder every month. They describe how assistive devices, specialized diets, accessibility transportation, and out-of-pocket medical costs quietly drain budgets until every purchase becomes a carefully calculated decision. A payment of $4,000 would not simply refill bank accounts. It could repair long-neglected household issues, replace broken appliances, pay off overdue bills, or help someone finally schedule medical care they have postponed for months. Across online forums, community groups, and disability advocacy spaces, people share stories of stretching canned food, cutting prescriptions in half, or relying on help from neighbors just to get through the week. Hearing that payment dates are being discussed has given many of these individuals a reason to check their bank accounts more often, waiting for confirmation rather than rumor. Behind closed doors, federal staff are finalizing updated guidance outlining which groups would be eligible for the double payment. Early drafts indicate that the payments would go to all supplemental security income recipients, Social Security disability insurance recipients, and certain mixed status individuals who fall into both categories. The reasoning is that these beneficiaries have remained one of the most economically vulnerable populations, with cost of living increases consistently outpacing benefit growth. Even with the recent COLA adjustments, the math simply doesn't add up for millions of people. That strain is one of the driving forces pushing lawmakers to prioritize an immediate injection of support rather than letting the issue blend back into committee discussions that often drag on without resolution. What has heightened excitement is the emergence of projected payment dates circulating among policy analysts who hint that the release schedule could mirror previous federal disbursement patterns. If the structure follows the standard cycle, individuals on SSI could see their first half of the payment processed at the start of the upcoming month, with SSDI recipients receiving theirs based on their usual second dash, third dash, and fourth Wednesday cycles. The second stimulus check, completing the full $4,000 amount, would follow soon after, creating a double deposit effect that many households have never experienced. This kind of sequencing would give families a chance to immediately address critical bills while still having a significant amount left to stabilize the weeks ahead. In countless living rooms across the country, people are already imagining what a month with double payments would feel like. Some envision finally clearing overdue electricity bills that have cast a shadow over their household for months. Others think about catching up on medications that have been rationed because the costs keep climbing. Many talk about repairing old vehicles that they rely on to get to medical appointments, but haven't been able to fix. Even small things like buying warm clothes for winter or stocking up on groceries without anxiety feel monumental. The idea of $4,000 isn't just financial. It represents dignity, stability, and the ability to breathe a little easier. At the same time, there is an undercurrent of skepticism built from years of political promises that never reached the finish line. People who depend on disability benefits have watched bills collapse during committee negotiations or get reshaped until the original relief becomes unrecognizable. That hesitation is understandable. Yet this time, analysts say the funding source has been identified, negotiations have moved past early hurdles, and the urgency in Congress over rising poverty among disabled Americans has created a rare moment of bipartisan momentum. The pressure is coming from real human stories, not theoretical charts, and lawmakers are facing a louder public demand for immediate action. Across the country, financial advisors are already preparing people for how to manage such a sudden increase. They stress the importance of creating a cushion to offset unpredictable medical costs and encourage recipients to cover essential expenses first before considering anything long-term. While the payment is substantial, its greatest impact will come from strategic use. Many advisors caution that, although this relief could change a month, financial stability requires more than a one-time payment. Still, for a population that has lived too long in a margin of survival, even a temporary reprieve could reshape the emotional and psychological weight carried day to day. Conversations within advocacy circles reflect both anticipation and concern. Leaders in disability communities urge recipients to stay informed through official channels rather than online rumors. They remind people that final approval is the last step still pending, but all signs point toward a favorable outcome. The momentum has grown too quickly and too visibly for lawmakers to ignore. Public pressure continues to mount as families share their struggles openly, making it clear that these payments would not be optional comforts, but necessary support to close the widening gap between income and survival. Meanwhile, household anticipation grows with every new update. People refresh their bank apps more often, check their mailboxes for official notices, and wait for the message that confirms what they have been hoping for. The dates are set, the deposits are scheduled. And relief is no longer a distant possibility, but a present reality. The heart of this movement is built on resilience. It comes from millions of people who have learned to live with less, who have fought through illness, disability, and financial strain, and who now stand on the edge of a moment that could finally offer them the support they have long deserved. As the nation watches these developments unfold, it becomes clear that this isn't just another round of government assistance. It is a recognition of a community that has carried silent burdens for far too long. It is a step toward acknowledging the essential truth that stability should not be a privilege reserved for a few. The potential arrival of these $4,000 payments marks more than financial relief. It symbolizes a renewed commitment to fairness for those who have been overlooked. Families wait with hope, strengthened by the possibility that the coming month may bring not only money, but peace of mind, security, and the long overdue feeling that help has finally arrived.